I'm here with another video request. This time is from Manali. She says she has to go to this college farewell where she plans to wear a navy blue colored sari with a lot of golden detailing work. So she'd asked me to recommend her a kind of an eye makeup that would go with her sari. Plus she specifically asked me for a video tutorial on face contouring. So since the eye makeup that I've done, that I'm going to tell her to do rather, is very simple, so I'm not really doing a video tutorial on it. It's basically this. And I've paired it with red lipstick. If she is not comfortable with red, she can easily pair it with a bright pink as well. So let's just get started with the video tutorial. Okay, before I start my contouring my face, I have to tell you all that she specifically asked me to use the Lakme Absolute's MoonLit highlighter duo for contouring, which is basically this. This is what it looks like. The shades. This is the darker shade that I'm going to be using for contouring, and there is a lighter shade which I'm going to be using for highlighting. And I think let's just get started now. Okay, before I start with the contouring, let me all tell you that I have a round face, a roundish face, and a round face which is chubby and a bit golu and all that. So the contouring that I'm going to be doing today is very specific for a round face. Of course, I would in between give some pointers for say an oval face or for an oblong face or for a square face, but disclaimer, specifically for round faces this tutorial is. Fortunately, Manali also has a roundish kind of a face, so it might just prove very helpful to her. I hope it proves helpful for you, Manali. A second basic point that I want to cover about contouring would be all over the world globally there are these two shades that you require for contouring. One is a dark shade, which is this. This shade should be ideally maximum a couple of shades darker than your skin tone, and the other has to be the other is a highlighter, which is basically shimmery. The darker shade should be preferably matte. It should not have shimmer, because if it does, then it might just qualify for a bronzer. And the highlighter shade should have shimmer. It should not be matte. In addition to the contour shade and the highlighter shade, we also require a blush. Of course, blush is not mandatory, but I would suggest that you do use a blush also while you're contouring your face. So now let's just get started. For contouring, first of all, you require a contour brush. I don't really have a contour brush, and I don't think I would be comfortable with a contour brush. I basically use a brush from Colorbar. This is the brush that I use. It is this. It looks like a blush brush, but it's a thin blush brush, if you can see. It's a thin blush brush because a proper blush brush looks like this. It's like roundish. This one is not round. This is a bit narrow. So we're going to start with this brush, and of course, like I said, I'm going to be using the Lakme Absolute highlighter in MoonLit. Sorry. Okay, now the darker shade of the highlighter duo basically goes into the hollows of your face. Hollows as in any part of the face that you want to hide or you want to show that is inside, is like gone. It's like dimples. When you see a dimple, like you see a dimple here, the part of the cheek which goes inside is actually darker, if you notice. So that's a dimple, right? So similarly, we're going to put the darker shade of the duo on the part of the face that we want should go inside. So first of all, the most important is you make a fish face like this, and the hollow that is generated here, you put in the darker shade. Now a lot of people contour in different ways. Some people go lower to higher, some people go higher to lower. I go higher to lower. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the darker shade in my contour brush, dust it for excess product, and then make a fish face. And I'm going to start from here till here, till my hollow. Start packing in the darker shade. Okay, do note your first initially when you start packing in the color, it should be in a dab motion. and then you should sweep it up and down. Then take your brush again and then just start blending in the color here. Don't take it up to your cheekbone, just keep blending it where it is. Now as you can see, there's a distinct contour that is got created here. If you think it's lighter, you can take in some more product, dust it for excess, and the same way just pack it in. This side is done, I'm going to do the other side. You can see a difference now. My face already looks slimmer, I'm sure. Now if you want to thin your nose, okay, like for example, a lot of us are blessed, rather I would say, with thick noses. If you want to thin your nose, what you need to do is you need to again take a darker shade, dust it, and you should apply it on the sides of your nose. Do not apply it on the bridge, just apply it on the sides of your nose and blend. As you can see, my nose looks slimmer. I'm hoping it does. Yeah. After this is done, generally people like to put their, hide their temples as well. So we take a bit of darker shade. I do not do it, and but if you want to, you can. So just a bit of it in the temples. I generally don't like doing this. I don't recommend it, but I'm just showing it so that you know that this can be done as well. Now, this step is extremely important for people with round faces and even oval faces. People can do this, but do note that people with square faces and people with heart-shaped faces should skip this step. Mandatorily skip it. Basically, it is to apply the darker shade under your jaws. So it makes this application of the darker shade basically makes you look more contoured from the jawline. Now people with square faces and people with heart-shaped faces already have very prominent jawline. So there is no point making it more prominent because that would just look very disproportionate. This is one step which I do, and I'm not telling any one of you all to do, is that I have a cleft on the chin here, if you can see this. I like to make it more prominent. I'm quite proud of it. So I basically put it in there so that it looks deeper than what it actually is. It's like a dimple in my chin. Now that we're done with the contouring part, or rather the low lighting part, now you would say we should go for the highlighting part. But before we go for the highlighting part, I'm going to first apply my blush. For my blush, I'm going to be using Colorbar's Cheek Illusion Blush in Floral Fuchsia. I don't know if you can see it really. This is what the blush looks like. It's a pretty, it's not really fuchsia, it's a darker pink kind of a shade. So I take my blush brush, apply a bit of product, dust it for excess again, and then apply it on the apples of my cheeks. Now this is for people with round faces and maybe even oval faces and oblong faces. You apply it on the most prominent part of your cheek and then sweep it upwards. I mean, you should, the brush should be in a downward motion, but it should keep going upward. Like how the earth rotates but still revolves, same way it should go niche and upar like this. This basically makes a round face look longer if you take it upwards. And one very important point, this upward motion is basically to ensure that your round face looks longer, and this downward strokes is because all of us have got facial hair, okay? I mean, however small, less, negligible, a lot, however it is, we all have facial hair. Direction to be downwards. So if you apply in any other direction, if your strokes are in any other direction, the facial hair is going to stand and it's not going to look good. So you're supposed to do it downwards, towards up, like this. I have a habit of blending it with my hand, with my fingers. Up to you how you do it. Now that I've applied my blush, we're going to now concentrate on the highlighting part. For the highlighting, again, I'm taking the Lakme Absolute Duo, and I'll take the lighter shade of it here, this one. Taking my contour brush, the so-called contour brush. Let me just clean it up first. Yeah, now I take the highlighter shade, and first is to apply it on the bridge of your nose. This part is called the bridge of the nose, and you're supposed to apply the highlighter here and then take it from the forehead here. You can already see the nose looks slimmer because you can see a bit of shadow, a darker shade here, and this part, because of the highlighter, gets illuminated. And especially if you're going for a function, a party, a farewell party, where there is going to be a lot of photography, flash photography of course, so this part is very important. After this is done, apply it above. See, this is where you apply the contour color, this is where you apply the blush, and above this is where you're going to apply the highlighter, and blending downwards into the blush. It's okay if you blend into the blush. This is because when you smile, this part of the cheek reflects light, and so it looks as if you've got nice, very chiseled cheekbones. Yeah, and since I've applied my low light color here, I'm going to be applying a highlight color here on the raised part of my chin. If your chin is not raised from here, all the more reason that you should highlight it. It basically gives a nice dimension to your face. Now that all this is done, my tutorial is done as well, and I hope you can see a difference in my face before and after contouring, and I hope it was easy to follow, and I hope you all like the tutorial, and I hope you comment on it, and I really do hope that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. And you should go check out my blog. If you don't, of course, you should go check out my blog as well, which is isimplylovemakeup.blogspot.in, and I hope you like the look.